My learning really is stronger together is clearly one point, but also that it's wonderful to come together in spaces and places like this, and we need that. And some of the conversations I've had with people, and people I've been connected with for a long time, is about feeling vulnerable and feeling vulnerable in the current context, and as a practitioner, feeling vulnerable and worrying that your work will be cut. And I think it's the opportunity for all of us is to use RRI as a vehicle to take this work out more broadly. And it's the action in terms of the Enrich Consortium. We will be taking this discussion out to education policymakers in various countries. I'll be doing it in the UK, Catherine. We'll be doing it in Ireland. We'll be doing it in Italy, in Spain, in Hungary as well. We will be taking this conversation out, but we will be asking people to connect with us and try and help us make this argument, not just here in the public engagement or the RRI space, but out with the other people as well.
So, of course, it was not enough time to develop a whole action plan or a strategic something for sure. But if we were able to anchor some of our learning points to those index cards, I'm already quite happy. And I'm quite sure that this cognitive level of the things we have earned here is going to be taken away. And some of the things you have written on your red cards are going to be started tomorrow. But there is a final step here, which would like to take us to a bit further on. Because even if we know what we would like to do, and even if we are emotionally in a very good status now, I mean, being inspired, the cognitive elements might stay. But what if the summer vacation or something else drives our energy away from this? It might happen that in September, and we really would like to start something. I mean, probably it depends on the different educational system when, but in ours it must be more or less in September when we are going to return to these tasks, what we have figured out right now. Maybe we are not already going to have the feelings, the emotions, this inspiration, what we are having now in this community. So there is a final step here, and this is why you are having the postcards on your table. And these are going to be postcards you are receiving at a certain time, at a certain surprising time in the future. Not next week for sure. We are going to count on the fact that with some time these inspirations are going to fade away a bit, the atmosphere you are having now. And we would like us ourselves to be reminded to this good atmosphere and mood after some time. So please grab a postcard. At least one. And would you please try to write a reminder for yourself, which somehow helps you to bring you back in the mood of the conference in a quarter of a year or so. Okay? So something which is, again, not learning now anymore, not cognitive, but brings back the inspiration. How can you motivate yourself with a sentence to become part of the current mood you are having, if it is positive? And of course, to receive it, you need your address on it, so don't forget to put your address on the relevant place. And if you are not using all the blank place on one of the parts, then actually now you will have a chance in 2 minutes to approach the people you wish to leave a note for you on your postcard as well. Okay? So I'm just saying it to save some space for others who might, provide you with some boost of energy or inspiration if you are receiving their words in some months. it seems that in 10 seconds, most of you will have at least one reminder of the energy, which is important because in 10 seconds, it would be great if you stand up and move to someone else to ask for a reminder. And of course, you might be asked to give a reminder as well. Okay? So be brave to approach anyone you wish to have a kind of energizer on your postcard you are receiving. This is one of the final moments you can approach somebody in the room who is not your fellow colleague or somebody. So this is the time. Thank you for the first one, to move. Find those from whom you would like to have a bit of an energizer on your postcard. They might write anything, of course, you don't know what, but approach them. Yes, it might be the guy in the neighboring chair, but the guy might be at the other end of the room, so be brave to get to the other end of the room as well. Standing up and moving is already an action. This is something to go for, okay? So you are provided with the green light to move around. It's not a must to be reciprocal, okay? I'm not good in feeling it yet, but I'm going to do that. Actually, now I expected more people to stand up and move, I have to say. You don't have to fulfill my expectations, but I would love to see you moving around, for sure. Yeah, I mean, do you know my name? Thank you, Hank. You've got 2 more minutes to dare to approach someone for a reminder. No, there is going to be boxes next to the door, so when you are leaving, you can just put it in. You can take those away, and I'm going to tell you more loudly. So I'm a bit hesitant to decide whether you have finished with this or you are getting into this, but I'm going to anyhow go on. You don't have to stop it anyhow, but maybe you are interested where to put the postcards to, okay? So, basically this is how we tricked around the responsiveness and adaptation, I have to tell you. And as I already mentioned, those index parts, especially the reds and the green ones, are for taking away. So please, when you are leaving, not now, but when you are leaving, you can, take it away. And also your piece of art on the yellow paper, okay? The postcards are going to arrive you in some time. If you are on your way out, not now, but when you are leaving in about 25-30 minutes, you are leaving it in the boxes next to the two doors. So you can leave any door. There is a box next to each of them. Just drop your postcard there after you are actually quite sure about putting your address on the postcard properly. So I'm very happy that you were writing so many things here and there. And this is the point when we are finishing this part of the final plenary. And I'm going to give the word to you, and the floor to you to go on with the very ending of the conference. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much to Rika for a very energising, reflective and inspiring final plenary. So we have almost come to the end of our conference, but before we go on our way, Connor from Iron has been working on a video all week. He's been collecting little videos and snippets from people who are here at the conference. So we're going to show that now. Before we finish up.
So my name is Catherine Bates. I work in DIT, Dublin Institute of Technology, and the programme for students learning with communities. And this year we're very excited to be hosting the 7th Living Knowledge Conference.
They are a network of science shops across Europe, and science shops look at solving real-world problems through interactions between community and universities.
And it's about doing research to address real-world challenges, which are also identified by the community organisations. So it's not just that researchers decide what they're going to do, it's that people come together and decide collectively what's important to do research on.
Because this is an international conference, so you hear from all parts of the world and case studies, their approaches and their understanding of what it's about.
Because many people think about what they want to learn, which is important. But you must also share. If everybody wants to share, then everybody will also be learning.
We had already engaged with DIT about responsible research and innovation, and we've been talking about the programme that we've been doing and realised, yes, that's what we're doing anyway. And that's a basic principle we're putting in place. So when we heard this conference coming, we said, right, this is a real chance to go and see and try and understand what this concept is about.
We are having obviously 2.5 days of presentations and interactions and discussions. We're also having on the social front, we have an informal soccer match this evening. We also have an introduction to Gaelic football for people who signed up for that. And we of course have the conference dinner, and we're planning on making everybody, regardless of nationality, get up and dance and have a go at Irish dancing.
Well, my expectations of the conference were really focused on the title, Living Knowledge. And I love this idea of lived experience, lived knowledge. Knowledge that emerges from people's experiences in the world. And it's actually met and exceeded all of my expectations in that regard.
The science shop we have created, what it does is we explore needs among the secondary schools. So for example, we asked 1,000 students what is their need in terms of health, what is the issue that they are more worried about, and they said mental health. and we identified different lines of research, and we partnered them with students at master level or higher education level. They define together the question, they define together the methodology, they implement together the project, and at the end, what we did was build a decalogue with recommendations for policymakers.
I love the plenary sessions. They've been more engaging in terms of trying to understand where other people are coming from. But the sessions where you actually talk to other people, that's when we start to get to know each other and network.
So one of the projects was, for example, developing a business model for a community house and a community space to run in a profitable way to finance the non-profit elements of the community.
In the past, sometimes what we have seen is, research. These are the numbers, this is what it's about, this is the rigor, and that's it, and it stands by itself. Whereas what we see now is an interconnectivity and a more of a network approach.
We're delighted that the conference went so well. A lot of work went in advance to organising it, but a lot also depended on the participants who came here and that they would interact in the way that we hoped they would, and that's really surpassed our expectations.
So Living Knowledge 8 is going to be held in Corvinus University in Budapest. So I'm really looking forward to that already.
Highly recommended. In fact, register now. I know the registration isn't up yet, but register now, or at least prepare to register for it. Just because you're really going to be able to have really great dialogue and meet folks from around the world doing fascinating projects, again, that are really meeting the urgent needs of the world today.
Dublin is great. It's a wonderful city. And this is a great time of the year to be here.
I would say it's probably one of the most collegial, if not the most collegial events that I ever attend. You will definitely get new ideas and meet lots and lots of very engaged people.
Would I recommend it to other people? Absolutely. I think I would do a good briefing beforehand, because I think some of this concept is so new to a lot of the people here in Ireland, particularly the community organisations.
The next Living Knowledge Conference 2018 will be in Budapest, hosted by the Corvinus University of Budapest and the Corvinus Business School within the university. And we are very happy to have you all and your colleagues there with us. Thanks.
So my name is Catherine Bates. I work in DPT, Dublin Institute of Technology, in the programme for students in communities.
So now for what we've all been waiting for, the poster award presentations. And we'd like to invite Norbert Steinhaus from the Living Knowledge Network to present the winners of the poster competition with their prizes. So is Norbert here? Okay. He'll be here in a minute. So we're going to announce them in reverse order. So third first, then second, third, then second, then first. And we're going to announce the People's Choice Poster Awards first. And we got a fantastic response to that. We're really delighted that so many people came to the poster session. We did try to entice you with the ice cream and the Bucks Fizz. We think it worked. So we'll note that for future reference. No pressure, Eric. Then we'll announce the Enrich Advisory Board Awards as well. So there's a third, second and first for that as well. We have some certificates here that we'll give to the people who come up, and I think Catherine has some envelopes to put them in so they won't get creased. Oh, yeah. What about the big ones? Oh, okay. Do you want to come up, Norbert?
Just show my face.
So as I said, I'll just call them out. We have the People's Choice Awards first, so thanks everybody for contributing. It genuinely was, and Sinead was not quite impartial, but she was the other person who looked at what we were doing. our peer review, and there generally was just one vote between the first three. So in third place we have poster number 141, which was measuring long-term impact of science communication case study, interactive STEM workshops for teenagers outside school, and that's for Sophie Verkest from the Free University of Brussels. So Sophie here. Maybe one of her colleagues could come up. Okay, we have a. So for the third prize, there's a certificate. So it's the glory for the third prize. Great. And then the second prize goes to poster number 136, and that's the dilemmas of taking responsibility in the fight against extreme poverty, the case of a social innovation emerging from a participatory action research process. There's quite a few authors on this, so Zoltan Bajmonsi, Georgi Malovic, I'm sorry about the mispronunciations, Judith Juhasz, Judith Gerbert, Bolarka Marina, Berkey, and they're from, the University of the University of Zagreb in Hungary. And there's one other author to read out, Barbara Mihawk from the Community-Based Research for Sustainability Association. So congratulations to them.
Who's taking the chocolate? So, congratulations. Okay.
And now I don't think we have a drum roll, but you can just imagine it in your head. So this is the first prize, and it's a substantial award for the first prize. And this goes to number 11, and I was building RRI proficiency through community-based participatory research. And it's Ruth Halley, Kenneth Burns, and Catherine O'Mahony from University College Cork. So it's a local one. So the Enrich Advisory Board Awards, we had 3 judges who went around and judged on behalf of the Advisory Board. And in third place, we have poster number 62, Power of Bridging Equipment for Effective Collaborations, a case study of PAC test and community-based environmental research projects. And it's Wuger Letu, sorry, I've mispronounced her name terribly, sorry, from Australia National University. So, and the second prize in the Enrich Advisory Board Awards goes to number 93, and that's the Energy Saving Christmas Tree Project for Balsiai Community, and that's from Jarosław Daveko, Goda Rusensian from Vilnius College of Technologies and Design in Lithuania. So congratulations. And the first prize for the Enrich Advisory Board Awards goes to poster number 11 again. So it's Building RRI Proficiency Through Community-Based Participatory Research, Ruth Halley, Kenneth Burns, Catherine O'Mahony from University College Cork. Ruth just asked me to mention that the PhD students on the module had a role in designing the poster as well. And Anya, who's here, she wants to acknowledge that. Does anyone want to come up? So I want to apologise for all my dreadful pronunciation there. I didn't have any time to prepare for that, so as you probably guessed. So we'd just like to get on to the thanks finally. And we want to try to remember to say thanks to everybody without whom this conference would not have been possible. There's quite a long list, but we think it's important to make sure we acknowledge everyone. So first of all, the Conference Programme Committee and Steering Committee for all of their work and support, and that was from over a year ago that began, so we really appreciate that. Next, our session chairs and presenters and our invited guest speakers. Also, before the conference began, we had our site visit hosts and pre-conference workshop hosts, and also Henk Mulder, who and his co-presenters for coordinating the summer school, which some of you I'm sure attended. Then the presenters and facilitators at yesterday's public event on STEM, that was yesterday evening in this building. We were lucky enough to attend. Those who made welcome speeches from DIT, from Amen, the Lord Mayor and the Global Network representatives. Our poster judges from the Enrich Advisory Board. We didn't check with them if we could say who they were, so we think it's better that we don't. But if they want to make themselves known later, they can. For the catering, Aramark and Kevin Street College Catering, we really appreciate everything they did. Our videographers and photographers, and Connor, as was mentioned already, and his colleagues at ION. You saw the fruit of their labours there, the video. All our colleagues in the Access and Civic Engagement Office, where Catherine and Sinead are based, and in the Learning, Teaching and Technology Centre, where I'm based. Particularly those who volunteered their time to help with registration, to design maps, and to pack the conference packs. Also, Lindsay Davis and Emer Shannon, who aren't part of either of those parts of DIT and who just wanted to volunteer because they really wanted to be involved in the conference. They thought it was a great idea. And our colleagues in the Public Relations Office, in particular Jill O'Callaghan, for the logo, the programmes and the banners, which I think you agree were fantastic. So I've gotten to the end of my list. If you want a round of applause for everybody we mentioned there, and then we let Catherine get on to hers.
So we also want to thank the porters and our colleagues in estates who set up all the rooms and maybe answered all your queries. We want to thank Christine, Alan and Aidan for their technical support. You saw them rescue us several times, and there's other times you didn't see. The DIT Sports Service for their help with the sports events, and Kenneth Burns, who's now gone unfortunately, but Ruth, you can tell him we said thank you for organising the soccer game. Our mentors and advisors on the Enrich project, and in particular Emma McKenna, Josephine DeMare and Sophie Duncan, who were really, really helpful around the conference. Michaela Shields from the Bond Science Shop, I know she's gone, but again, Norbert, you might tell her that we were thinking of her. Can't see Norbert, sorry. She did all the work on the conference website, which was fantastic. Obviously, in terms of our funders, the European Commission Horizon 2020 programme for funding the project and the conference. To Campus Engage, an Irish network, for their support for the public event yesterday. The Living Knowledge Network for the poster prizes. Fáilte Ireland, who gave us pens, maps and lanyards. The Technical University for Dublin team, who provided bursaries for DIT staff and students to attend to present on their work as well. Thanks to all of you. You have presented, you have helped us with everything, you have brought your energy, you have travelled, you've come, you've stayed. This is the hardcore group. You are the last survivors. And so thank you so much for making it such an enjoyable experience for us. And we have 3 people we really want to say thank you to. And they're our colleagues on the conference organising committee. Sinead McCann, Katie Griffin and Helen Shine. And just words fail us for the level of work, dedication, support and commitment. You've met them all on the reception desk, you've seen them around the place answering your queries, so we have a huge hand for those and everybody else. Thank you.
without thanking the human foundations of this conference, Catherine Bates and Claire McDonough.
So just to make sure we don't all lose touch, because we've met, we've made good friends, and we're going away now. So there are a couple of upcoming events we want to flag. We can go to Canada next year. We can meet at CU Expo or Q Expo. I know the different pronunciations. 2017, and that's happening in May, and it's happening in Metro Vancouver in Canada. And of course, we have the year after that. We'll all meet again at the next Living Knowledge Conference. And so Rika is going to say a few words to introduce that. Oh, and Herbie.
Thank you very much. We have been so nicely introduced already. Yeah. So we plan to provide you with a bit of a taster of our university and of Budapest. And I know after this conference the expectations are quite high, so our knees are trembling a bit, but hopefully we are going to do it in a nice way. So Corvinus University of Budapest is where we would like to have you here, and these are us. My colleague is the research director of the Corvinus Business School, and we are having all the consents to have the conference. And what we would like to introduce now is, I'm also having this, but yeah, sorry, but I can talk into two. We had a historic background of being a customs house, which was turned into a school. Let's try with those. It doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work as well. Sorry. It meant to be a quick thing. Okay. So just to let you know that we are going to be in downtown Budapest. We are here on the heart of Budapest, on the bank of the Danube. This is our main building, this custom house. We are expecting you to come. This is how it looks from the inside, and yes, don't be mistaken, it's not the opera house, but the architect is the same, so that's why it looks like. So, actually we've got a new set of buildings as well, which is on the campus, so if somebody doesn't really like these old things, you can have the new ones there as well. So, actually we are having a saying in Hungarian, I'm not sure whether we could translate it properly into English, that the Hungarian truth is three, meaning that if something happens to you, probably similar two things are going to come, either good or bad. Hopefully these are the goods I'm going to show you. So we plan to tell you three short things about Budapest. And UNESCO was mentioned here, so we sought to look at the World Heritage List. And you see Budapest are having quite many things on the World Heritage List. The banks of the Danube that is missing is behind the curtain, with the House of Parliament, for example. The Castle Quarter with buildings coming from the 17th, 18th century. And this is the Castle Quarter as well, during night. And also the third one, this avenue mentioned in the title is this. We call it the Hungarian Champs-Élysées. And it's not just the trees and the traffic is like that, but the numerous buildings on the sides of it. So this was the one. And the second one is the Bears of Budapest, which are attracting not only the visitors, but the locals as well. So it is not only touristic. And we've got quite plenty of them. Budapest is rich in geothermic things and thermal bases, so these two are two, basically what I've shown to you already. The third type is over here, and there is a fourth one. So we don't know the dates yet, but clearly it is going to be summer, so I'm going